2016. If you want to follow us on Twitter, please go to CATEX TV. Insurance Insider is reporting that a successor to Tad Montrose has been named to Gen Re. Montrose announced his retirement earlier this year. He apparently is going to be replaced by a woman, Cara Reguel. Reguel is a senior executive from Berkshire's reinsurance division who's worked closely with Ajit Jain. Jain apparently has described her in a memo that was seen by Insurance Insider as his, quote, secret weapon. She's an actuary by background. In the note that was seen by the insider, Jain said that discussions in recent weeks with insiders and outsiders had led him to judge that there was a feeling that Gen Re had become, quote, less relevant. He said that concern, together with the serious headwinds faced by the reinsurance business, requires us to all consider whether and what actions might be taken to best position Gen Re for the next chapter. He went on to say that for the next 90 days or so, he's asked Cara to have as her first priority and chief objective to determine how to best grow Gen Re's book of business without sacrificing its underwriting integrity. He also paid tribute to Tad Montrose, saying that he had done, quote, an unbelievable job, and that his decision to step down was, quote, the most unwelcome news. Nice words from Ajit for Tad. The Egyptian military has announced that they have found wreckage from Flight 804, apparently including airline seats, life preservers, personal belongings, and apparently even also body parts. The wreckage was found in the Mediterranean Sea, about 180 miles north of Alexandria. Right now, there is still no cause for the crash. However, just about everybody who's quoted as saying anything on this is indicating that's most likely terrorism, which, if that's the case, is going to send shivers down the spines of Western security agencies, because, of course, the flight originated in Paris. And if you've flown out of Charles de Gaulle Airport before, you will note that the security there is as stringent as security anywhere in the world. The Canadian wildfire that originated in the Fort McMurray area in Alberta has now spilled over into Saskatchewan, and experts are saying that this could be the largest wildfire insured loss in history. Over 1.2 million acres have now been burned. It's understood that the final insurance and reinsurance industry loss total is likely to continue to move upwards, because now, as on top of the residential and commercial property damage, insurance is going to end up paying for costs related to the oil sands production shutdown as well as business interruption. In fact, it's been reported that in the last 48 hours, the wildfires have hit some of the oil sands facilities, with one 665-room oil sands workers camp, the Horizon Black Sands, being burned completely. Also, some business interruption of about 1.2 million barrels of production of oil a day, has been sustained, and they have now been interrupted for up to 2 weeks. The only estimate of insured losses so far has come from AIR, which puts the highest end of the estimate at $6.9 billion, but that does not include any oil sands claims. So this could be a monster of a claim when it finally comes through. U.S. primary insurance firm Allstate has announced that its April 2016 catastrophe losses are going to come to $633 million, with one of the Texas hailstorm events causing more than half of that total. The April cat loss for Allstate comes on top of an $827 million first quarter cat loss that it sustained from January through end of March of this year. The high level of Allstate cat losses suggest that other insurers in the U.S. will also see cat losses above expectation. Allstate retains a significant amount of its own exposure. Many other smaller insurers do not, so it can be expected that there will be breakthroughs of the retention limits into the reinsurance sector. A city in western India has suffered the country's highest temperature in history, 123.8 degrees Fahrenheit or 51 degrees Celsius. The record was set yesterday in the city of Phalodi in the state of Rajasthan. Just in case you're wondering, the highest temperature ever recorded is 56.7 Celsius or 134 degrees Celsius, was recorded in 1913 in Death Valley, California. The severe heat wave and drought in India have caused hundreds of farmers to kill themselves because they can no longer support their families. The country is eagerly awaiting the monsoon rains. UK law firm called Kennedy's, an international law firm, has put out a study this morning saying that up to 48,000 jobs would be lost if insurance companies chose to relocate from England in the event of a Brexit. The UK referendum on leaving the EU is scheduled for June 23rd. The law firm interviewed 20 senior industry executives and found that in the event of a Brexit vote, insurers could begin to relocate from the UK within 1 to 2 years, with some even suggesting that some jobs could relocate within weeks. Bids for Yahoo's core internet business might end up not being quite as high as Marissa Mayer and the Yahoo shareholders hoped. The favorite in the ongoing auction process, which is Verizon, is expected to offer a bid of between $2 to $3 billion now. This is in the second round of bids. They're going to be due the first week of June, according to the Wall Street Journal. Just a month ago, prior to the first round of bids, analysts had speculated that Yahoo's core internet business, which is what's for sale, could fetch up to $8 billion. However, bidders have lowered their offers after seeing presentations from Yahoo CEO Marissa Mayer and learning more about the company's outlook. Couldn't have been too good a presentation. One of the interesting things that people have been speculating about is the Zika virus and its effect on the Summer Olympics in Brazil. Brazil has been racked by the worst economic recession it's faced in history, with the Zika virus and its threat to pregnant women, as well as the possible influx of hundreds of thousands of tourists visiting for the Olympic Games and then going back to their homes. There's a worldwide concern about a global contagion which could result. If the games are in fact canceled, the help from the insurance and reinsurance industry is going to be minimal to none. According to Andrew Duxbury from Munich Re, he says that his company is offering about $200 million in coverage for potential losses. He estimated that the insurance industry as a whole is covering about $1 billion of potential claims, but he noted that those claims would only be paid if they came from a terrorist attack or a natural disaster. Infectious disease, he noted, usually requires separate additional coverage. He said since most of these insurance contracts were signed 4 years ago when the games were awarded, and Zika was not exactly high on the radar scope, it's unlikely that it would be covered anyway. And then, to cap it all off, Zika was first discovered in 1947, and since the disease has been known for 70 years, it would be considered a pre-existing condition anyway. It would not be covered unless there was a special rider to allow it for coverage. And of course, 4 years ago, nobody in Brazil was concerned about the Zika virus. That's the news for today. Have a good weekend. If anything breaks, we'll come back and tell you. If not, we'll see you Monday, and thank you